As a reminder, this conference is being recorded today, Friday, November 12th, 2021. On behalf of the speakers that follow, listeners are cautioned that today's presentation and the responses to questions may contain forward-looking statements within the meaning of the safe harbor provisions of the Canadian provincial security laws. Forward-looking statements involve risks and uncertainties, and undue reliance should not be placed on such statements. Certain material factors or assumptions are employed in the making forward-looking statements, and actual results may differ materially from those expressed or implied in such statements. For additional information about factors. Hello.
Hello.
I think we just lost the operator. Craig, I think you can begin with your prepared remarks, even without the operator, though.
Sure. Okay, thank you. My name is Craig Mull. I'm the Interim Chief Executive Officer of the company. Thank you for joining us today, and good morning, everyone. Joining me on the line today is Scott Langell, Cipher's CFO. On today's call, I will make opening remarks before passing the call over to Scott to review the financial results in detail. Following our prepared remarks, we will open the call for your questions. Note that all amounts are in US dollars unless otherwise stated. Our year-to-date results continue to trend positively. Revenue, adjusted EBITDA, and EPS all showed growth compared to the same period last year. We generated $8.1 million in cash from operating activities in the 9 months ending September 30th, 2021, ending the period with $15.6 million US in cash, or nearly 20 million Canadian, placing us in an excellent position as we continue to actively pursue profitable growth opportunities and maximize the income generated from our distribution agreements. During the quarter, the company assigned the office lease for its corporate head office to a third party, which will result in the savings of $2.2 million over the remainder of the lease term. As a result of this transaction, the company paid an inducement payment which impacted EPS. Excluding this charge, EPS for the quarter would have been 6 cents, and EPS for the 9 months ended September 30th would have been 21 cents. Our year-to-date EPS was also impacted by the legal provision we took earlier this year. If you exclude this, EPS would have been 26 cents per share for the 9 months ended September 30th, 2021. Product revenue increased 30% year-to-date and increased 27% in Q3 compared to the same period in the prior year. Product revenue continues to be driven by the strength of Epuris, which ended the quarter with 43% market share compared to 41% in the prior year. Subsequent to quarter end, Atelimex, our distribution partner for isotretinoin products in Mexico, received approval for Epuris in the 10 milligram and 20 milligram doses in Mexico. During 2020, Cipher entered into an agreement with Galephar to return the distribution rights for Latin America and Mexico to Galephar in exchange for a single-digit royalty on net sales in these regions. The size of the Mexican market for isotretinoin is difficult to estimate, but given its population, this represents a sizable opportunity for our Epuris. During the second quarter, we launched Absorica AG with our marketing partner, Sun Pharmaceutical Industries. We believe that this will broaden Cipher's isotretinoin portfolio and ensure that we have products to serve each segment of this market and maximize the value of this portfolio. According to Symphony Health, the U.S. isotretinoin prescription market increased by 17.8% in the 9-month period ended September 30th, 2021, compared to the 9-month period ended September 30th, 2020. During the third quarter, license fees were down sequentially due to the combination of normal drawdown of quantities at the wholesale level, as well as seasonality associated with the product. Q3 is the seasonally weakest quarter of the year for isotretinoin products due to the summer months, which impact prescription trends typically by 8 to 10%. We believe this phenomenon will normalize in the coming quarters, and that looking at Q2 in combination with Q3 provides more insight into the market dynamics rather than looking at Q3 in isolation. Currently, in our isotretinoin portfolio, Cipher is receiving royalties from Sun for the branded product Absorica, the authorized generic, as well as Absorica LD. We are confident that working with Sun Pharma is the right economic decision for Cipher and is consistent with our overall strategy to maximize the value of the isotretinoin portfolio. Our pristine balance sheet with $15.6 million US, or nearly 20 million Canadian, places Cipher in an excellent position to continue to execute on its normal course issuer bid and to actively pursue product and business acquisitions in a prudent manner with a focus on near-term profitability. We are particularly excited about the opportunities in what is typically known as the legacy asset space. We are evaluating a number of potential products and feel that asset values and cash flow dynamics are quite compelling. I will now turn the call over to Scott for a financial review of our quarterly results. Scott?
Thanks, Craig, and good morning, everyone. Total revenue increased by $0.9 million or 4% to $16.1 million for the 9 months ended September 30th, 2021, compared to $15.5 million for the same period last year. Total revenue decreased by to $4.5 million for the 3 months ended September 30th, 2021, compared to $4.8 million in the same period last year. Licensing revenue for the 9 months ended September 30th, 2021 decreased $1.3 million to $7.7 million. Licensing revenue for the 3 months ended September 30th, 2021 decreased by $0.8 million to $2 million. Licensing revenue from Absorica in the U.S. was $1.4 million for the quarter, a decrease of $0.9 million. Absorica and the authorized generic version of Absorica market share for the 3 months ended September 30th, 2021 was approximately 5.1% compared to approximately 6% for the 3 months ended September 30th, 2020, according to Symphony Health. Market share, including Sun's Absorica LD, was approximately 6.5%. Overall, Absorica business, brand, AG, and LD declined year over year from 7.1% market share at September 30th, 2020. Licensing revenue from the extended-release tramadol product Conzip in the U.S. and Durela in Canada was $0.13 million for the 3 months ended September 30th, 2021, an increase of $0.9 million compared to $0.04 million in the prior year. Lipofen and the authorized generic of Lipofen was $0.5 million for the 3 months ended September 30th, 2021, a decrease of $0.05 million compared to $0.6 million for the 3 months ended September 30th, 2020. Product revenue increased by $0.5 million or 27% to $2.5 million for Q3 2021 compared to $2 million for the comparable period in 2020. Product revenue from Epuris was $2.3 million for the quarter, an increase of $0.5 million from $1.8 million for the comparative period. According to IQVIA, Epuris had a prescription market share of approximately 43% in Canada for the 3 months ended September 30th, 2021, compared to 41% for the 3 months ended September 30th, 2020. Product revenue for the remaining products, Ozanex, Betaflam, Atikerol, Brinavase, Acrostat, and Vanica, was essentially unchanged when compared to 3 months ended September 30th, 2020. Selling, general, and administrative expense was $1.7 million for the third quarter, an increase of $0.1 million compared to $1.6 million for the 3 months ended September 30th, 2020. Year-to-date, SG&A decreased by 7% to $4.1 million compared to $4.4 million in the prior year. Income from continuing operations was $4.9 million or 19 cents per basic and 18 cents per diluted share for the 9 months ended September 30th, 2021, compared to income from continuing operations of $4.5 million or 17 cents per basic and 16 cents per diluted share in the comparative period, excluding the provision for legal settlement of $1.25 million, the loss on disposable assets of $0.7 million, and loss of extinguishment of lease of $0.1 million. Income from continuing operations per common on both a basic and diluted basis for the 9 months ended September 30th, 2021 was 26 cents or Canadian 33 cents compared to income per common on both a basic and diluted basis of 17 cents and 16 cents respectively for the 9 months ended September 30th, 2020. Income from continuing operations per common share on a basic and diluted basis for the 3 months ended September 30th, 2021 was 3 cents compared to income per common share on both a basic and diluted basis of 6 cents for the 3 months ended September 30th, 2020. Excluding the loss on the disposal of assets of $0.7 million and the loss on the extinguishment of the lease of $0.1 million, income from continuing operations per common share on both a basic and diluted basis for the 3 months ended September 30th, 2021 was 6 cents compared to income per common share on both a basic and diluted basis of 6 cents for the 3 months ended September 30th, 2020. Adjusted EBITDA for the 3 months ended September 30th, 2021 was $9.8 million compared to $9.8 million for the 9 months ended September 30th, 2020. Adjusted EBITDA for the 3 months ended September 30th, 2021 was $2.2 million compared to $2.8 million for the same period in the prior year. The company had $15.6 million in cash and no debt at September 30th, 2021. The company generated $8.1 million in cash from operating activities for the 9 months ended in 2021. During the quarter, the company assigned the office lease for its corporate office, which will result in savings of $2.2 million over the remainder of the lease term. I will now turn the call back to Craig for closing remarks.
Thanks, Scott. With a profitable business, a reduced cost structure, and with a substantial cash position of approximately 20 million Canadian dollars, we feel that we are in an excellent position to accelerate our strategic promotional efforts to drive market share with our core brands and actively pursue business opportunities. We will now open the call up to questions. Operator?
Thank you. If you wish to ask a question, please signal by pressing star one on your telephone keypad. And if you're using your speakerphone, please ensure that your mute function is turned off. Again, it is star one for a question. We will now pause for just one moment. So it appears there are no questions at this time. I'll pass the call over back to Mr. Mull for any additional or closing remarks.
Thank you for joining us today. We look forward to reporting on our progress throughout the balance of 2021 as we execute on our priorities discussed today. Thank you for your time, and we look forward to speaking with you in the near future. Back to you, operator.
This concludes today's call. Thank you for your participation. You can now disconnect.